造の前に破壊や。
Hey, what's up, Broken Racing family? What's up, YouTube? This is the beginning of the new build series. Nicknamed it CrAzY 8. So we got a lot of things coming. As you know, sometimes when you're building, first you must destroy. So got to get everything taken apart, get the engine and trans out of there so we can get these projects rolling. First thing that I got to do now is get that helix out of there, get it wrapped up, boxed up, and sent to Poland. Got a guy purchasing that so we can get the ball rolling a little bit faster on these projects that I got coming. So the biggest thing I need for y'all to do is hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Share it to your social medias you got. Get your friends, get them to come through and hit the subscribe button. Get your dog, make him a YouTube account, have him subscribe. Your hamster, your cat, your baby mama, your side bitch, anybody you know, the local crackhead, just be like, hey man, look at this here, and subscribe and shit. Anyway, hit that like button, leave a comment, comment, encouragement, criticisms, whatever you got, bring it. And yeah, just tune in, stay tuned to try and do this maybe 1 or 2 videos a week, depending on how far things are going. I'm not gonna bore you with the details of how to get the engine out. I got other videos, and everybody else probably got a video for that. But yeah, just tune in, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and tell me how you feel. Tell me you love me. Tell me you hate me. Maybe you do. I don't know. Some of y'all might. But anyway, check out my work. Y'all be good. And there it is. That's basically what the helix looks like. All in one piece. Here goes the high pressure fuel pump. Goes the helix unit. So we take these apart and then get it wrapped up, cleaned up, and shipped out. And lastly, the billet vacuum piece. How shiny that is. But yeah, that's the whole helix kit. Alright, now that we got the helix and the high pressure fuel pump out of there, now I gotta take these intake studs out and put the extended ones. As you can see, this one's longer than the rest of them. I'm gonna put in the forward facing dock race intake manifold. That's part of what I want to get lined up and make sure everything fits before I pull everything out, so when I get ready to put it back in, it's not an issue. So next step is to take all of the rest of the studs out, put the longer studs in. Then I have to come over here to the power steering reservoir. I'm gonna pull this out. I got something that's gonna fit better in there. Usually when you use the dock race intake manifold, you can't put the OEM power steering reservoir here because it'll get in the way. You usually have to rig it somewhere else over here out of the way or do something different. But I went to Chase Bays on their website and got a unit that's a bit smaller, and it should fit in here with the forward facing intake manifold and stay right here in this spot. So let's get into that. Alright, got the new studs in there. Next step is to see how well. Got a phenolic spacer here to try and keep away some of the heat soak that would comes with putting on a metal intake manifold on these engines. So fit that on there. That seems to go on there, no fuss, no muss. Now the next part is to take the power steering fluid reservoir over here, empty that out, and try and remove it without making too much of a mess. That's gonna be fun. So what you see here is the Chase Bays power steering reservoir. I got the Type 2 bracket that goes on there, and the idea is to set it in here, and hopefully I can get everything to fit along with the coolant reservoir hoses that seem to be in the way right now, but I'll see if I can't finagle it in there. Alright, first test fit. CrAzY intake manifold. Alright, let's fit this bad boy in here. This thing is not lightweight. All right, as you can see, got the manifold in there now. I can see right now I'm probably not going to be able to retain the chassis brace, so I'm definitely going to have to figure out a solution for that. But seems like everything is going in there. The only thing really left to kind of fit that comes with the kit is the charge pipe and then the fuel rail, but you know, that shouldn't be too much of an issue to fit in there. Alright, I'm hoping this thing makes power worth all this hassle. So stay tuned, got a lot more stuff to come. Alright, day 2 of the CrAzY 8 build, working on trying to get the dock race intake manifold fitted in, trying to pretty much mock up where the fuel lines are going to go, the feed and the return. Finding a lot of good, bad, and ugly, so let's go over those in that order. Alright, so this is basically how it's going to look sitting in the car. As you can see, I got the fuel pressure regulator, got the gauge on there. Already got the return line here, if I can get my hand on it, that's going to fit in there. Got the fitting for the feed line. Finally found a one that'll turn the direction I need it. So the game plan for that is to take this hose, cut it in half, and then put my fuel pressure sensor, fuel pressure sensor in between the two, and then plug it in down there. Try and get a better view of the fuel filter down there, and then subsequently the return line here, I'm gonna cut that and then put the ethanol sensor somewhere in here. So that's gonna be fun, trying to get in there and cut the hose, because it's already attached all the way in the rear of the car to the filter sending unit under the driver's side seat. Bad is chase bay. I got it in here. It's a pain in the butt, but the issue is, you can see, probably can't, but the fittings, they're hitting the line for the coolant reservoir. So I've got to get 6AN fitting that goes up under here that's a little bit more low profile. I got to get it directly from them because it has a restrictor on it, and I can't just use a regular 6AN fitting. So we'll get that, try and get that to work, and then it has to go on these hoses here. This hose here, I'm not sure of the size. I think it's like a 3. Don't quote me. Like a 3/4, and then you got this one here. I gotta be able to put a 10AN fitting here and a 6AN fitting here, which hadn't quite figured that out, but I'm gonna get around to it. All right, and now on to the ugly. As you can see, I got the charge pipe. It goes in. It'll fit in with the power steering reservoir. I just have to take it out to get the charge pipe to go in. But the issue is pushing on the heater hose, and that is causing it to leak when it pushes on it. So thinking I might have to lengthen the hose and swing it around a little bit more. If I can do that, I don't know. As you can see right here, it's leaking like a sieve with it pushing on it. So that's basically where we are project wise. Stuff I'm dealing with today. Of course, there'll be a whole lot of other stuff to try and sort out. So after I get all the fuel lines figured out, and I have to do some other stuff, of course, everything will have to come out, and then I'll start dropping fluids and stuff, and prepping to take the engine out. Of course, the first thing is the front end's gonna come off. That's how I go about taking the engine out. That's usually the easiest way, instead of trying to pull it with the front end still on. That's gonna be fun. So y'all, keep watching, stay tuned. Hit the like and subscribe button, and share it with your friends, all of that stuff. All right, now the key now is swapping everything over to the new charge pipe. Here's the old VRSF unit. You can take out the Hobbs switch. Hopefully it'll come out. Actually, it doesn't want to come out. We'll work on that later. Blow off valve. I don't think I'm gonna fully bolt this in yet. I don't know if it'll be in the way of any. Alright. So, came out. Got a whole lot of fuss. Assuming I can reuse that. Not that old. Next part is map sensor. This has the BMS, I think it is. Burger. See, the black market parts are Burger Motorsports. I don't remember which one, but the jumper harness for it. I'm gonna have to cut that and lengthen it so that I can use it with the forward Phase manifold. Camera. Alright, we got those out. Get a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Maybe a lot of wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Alright. And that's out. And figure out something with that. That acting like it doesn't want to come out. Let's do a quick test fitting. Lube that up a little bit. Always use lube. Too much. Squeezy, squeezy, squeezy. Boom. Good fit, good seal. And that's pretty much ready to go. Right now, trying to work out what I got to do is lengthen. You have the throttle body plug. Gonna have to lengthen the low pressure fuel sensor plug, and the last plug is the map plug. And where you at? This guy, the evap hose. This is gonna have to be lengthened, go all the way up here on the throttle body, and then my camera would stop freaking out. Throttle body plug-in is here, and then the map sensor is on the charge pipe. Alright, so I figure I'll start with the map sensor, get this in here and figure out where it's going to be sitting at so that I can get how long the cable's going to have to be. So pretty much want this situated where it's going to be when it's on the car permanently. I think that's about where it's going to go. Coolant leaking out, that's fine. Alright, so you can see the map sensor there, and kind of gotta come up with an idea where this guy is gonna sit at. I'm not 100% sure, so try and give a little bit extra here and get an idea of how far to cut it and where we want it at. So I wanted to do mine a little bit different. Most people, when they do this, they take the connector, cut it, and then put a length of wire in between the two pieces, and that gives you what? I think this is a 4-wire, so that gives you 8 failure points. So what I did is I went to the junkyard and I took a length of the pigtail off of another car, That way I've only got 4 failure points if anything goes wrong. I'll I only got 4 points of contact to worry about. So just pull back. If you got a junkyard that has these cars in there, just go in, cut the wiring harness, pull back as far as you can. That way you got a nice length of wire, you won't be too short, and then you can cut your original one off and then just connect however long you really need, and you only got those 4 points of contact to worry about. Did the same thing with the throttle wire. So let's see how much I need, cut it, and then we'll put some new connectors on there to go onto the old line. As you see here, I've got this fitting. This is the piece of wire that I took off the donor car, and this is the jumper harness that I got from BMS. So the plan is to cut this here and attach it on here. Went ahead and bought some of these fittings off of Amazon, so we're gonna see if they work and put this thing together. Alright, if I can get this focused, here's the finished product. I ended up having to switch. This was the piece that was on the one that I took from the junkyard car, and this is the piece that came on the jumper harness. You probably can't see inside there, but there's a notch and a shelf that won't let you connect it to the OEM sensor pigtail. So I had to take this end piece off of here, pull it off, and then put it onto the new one so that it'll go onto the sensor pigtail. So if you have the jumper harness, this is one method. If you don't have the jumper harness and you still have the stock map sensor, you'll have two, I believe. If you're using a 3.5 bar from an N52, you have to take your wires, your OEM wires, and pretty much pull them out and then flip all of them. So this wire would end up over here, and then you swap all of them. Basically, you're just flipping the wires and putting them back in, and then you can use the N52 3.5 bar. But if you went ahead and got the jumper harness, you can do this. Next one is the throttle body. So right now I'm working on the low pressure fuel sensor wire. It needs to be extended for how I'm setting things up. Got these two ends, and then I'm gonna splice these wires into it and extend it, and then it should go into, let's see if I can find it. Here you see the low pressure fuel sensor, and this is going to go on the feed line in between, and then the sensor will plug in here. And here's the finished product. Probably a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but shouldn't be an issue. So one end goes into the low pressure fuel sensor, and the other end goes into the junction box. Last thing to wire is the throttle body. Well, I had to switch gears. I wanted to do the throttle body cable extending that, but I wanted to take the manifold off before I did that. But before I could take the manifold off, I need to figure out the fuel feed line, and I had to take this out from under the car so that I could take this piece. This is the piece that goes into ethanol sensor. So this has to come off so I can put that on the return line, and once I pull all of this out here, this piece will go back in its place, and then the line will probably have a 90-degree elbow that goes in on it and comes up to the feed line. Should have a 90-degree over here somewhere. Yeah, basically a 90-degree elbow like this will screw into it and then feed up to the feed line. Well, as you can see, I got the bottom portion of the fuel line in there. Now we just gotta take sensor port, screw that in. Like that, and now we have to measure from up to the port here in the back. Alright, so push that up through here and screw that in place, or attempt to. Alright, let's put this back on here without dropping it. As you can see, the line comes all the way down this far, so I'm gonna have to cut and account for the end fitting as far as the length goes. And measure, cut accordingly. So things are coming along. Last fuel hose I'm gonna have to deal with is the return line, and so I can put the ethanol sensor on there. All right, got my line marked. Gonna have to cut it, and then the fitting line should come to about there, and tighten down the. All right, well, there it is, all together. So now, all I gotta do is this exhaust line, this return line, which is gonna be a bit, I think, because I can't remove it from the car, but this is how everything's looking. Alright, well, end of the day off here. I'm tired. About to go home and watch the new episode of Solo Leveling, probably some other anime because I'm tired. Get something to eat. But this is basically how I'm going to mount the ethanol sensor. The fuel line is going to come through here. You see I already marked it off where I'm going to cut it and mount it there. Then the other end will come out and then come all the way up here. But I'm too tired to deal with that today. As you can see, we got the throttle cable extended. So that's ready to go. Find some wire loom, clean that up. We got the low pressure fuel sensor that's extended, but that's I left that in my office. And here goes the sensor over here. And then we got the map sensor, and that's back in my office, and that's already been extended. So I think I got some decent work done this weekend. All right, got everything mocked up like I wanted it. Got the ethanol sensor, got the return line, goes back up under the car to the back of the feet, and it connects from the fuel pressure regulator. The other side here, got the low pressure sensor extended, a little bit longer than I needed it to be. Got the map sensor extended, and the throttle body cable extended, and the evap hose extended. Ooh, look how ashy I am. Gee, that's why you're supposed to wear gloves when you're messing around with ethanol. But yeah, everything's where it's supposed to be. So next step is to rip everything out of here. I still gotta figure out what to do with the power steering, but the new fitting won't be here till Friday. So this is where I'll leave the video. Stay tuned. Well, that's the end of this day. I'm gonna go ahead and put this video out, let y'all see the work that I put in over the weekend, and stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button so you can see more of what I'm doing, hopefully through the week and not just the weekend. Try and get this thing done in a timely fashion. Of course, the biggest thing is when I start ordering more stuff, shipping's gonna kill me. Trying to wait for stuff to show up. But y'all see what I'm doing. Y'all see I'm serious. I'm gonna get this shit done, no matter how daunting it seems. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. That's all I can say. See.
Pay for nothing, drinking water from different fountains. I get in trouble by staring at somebody, and now they got police trying to get me.